our thinking about patient safety has changed quite a bit since we first became aware of it as a problem. I think a lot of us were really romanced by this idea that if we could just change the systems, we could eliminate the harms. And indeed, that's true, and we still believe that. And that's what we've set out to do, and there's been a huge effort. I mean, there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who've been working on making changes in their systems. The Institute for Healthcare Improvement has been a leader in teaching people how to do this, and the Massachusetts Coalition has really facilitated this with collaboratives and so forth. So there's been a huge effort, well-intentioned and I think often very well carried out and often successful to change systems. But it has not been nearly as successful as we had anticipated. And as we got into this and as we got more experience with how you go about changing systems, we began to realize this is a very big deal, that this is not easy to do, that you can't change a process unless you have everybody who's involved work together as a team. And it turns out that we don't do teamwork very well in healthcare. And then as we looked at that and began to do team training and see improvement from that, and there's been some great leadership in that here in Massachusetts with CRICO, for example, has required and rewarded team training in obstetrics and other areas. We've begun to realize that getting the team training and getting teams to work well requires something even more fundamental, which is changing the overall culture, because our culture in healthcare is so hierarchical and so anti-team, as well as I believe for some time now basically lacks respect, that we don't treat each other with the kind of respect that we should. And so we've moved from thinking about process to thinking about team, to thinking about culture, to thinking about what are the underlying problems in our culture and how do we address those. And I keep coming back to it's a leadership problem. Until the leaders of the institutions say, this is something we're going to do something about in a meaningful way, it isn't going to happen. I base that on the successes, and I think of Gary Kaplan at Virginia Mason Medical Center, Makotogal and others at Cincinnati Children's, and so forth. And what you see there is a passion at the top leadership to do something about it, and that infects everyone and persuades others. And when you have that kind of commitment, that kind of passion for getting rid of patient harm, big things happen. We have not seen that in the leadership of most of the major or other institutions. They have been much more concerned with market share, bottom line, reputation, et cetera. And until we get that kind of commitment, I don't think we're going to see it happen. And I find that very frustrating. Set no minor goals. If you want to accomplish something, think big. Massachusetts could reduce medical errors by 50% in 5 years if we really put our attention to it. We could get close to 80 or 90% of full disclosure, apology, and compensation when things go wrong, things I would very much like to see happen. We could, if we put our mind to it, I think, improve safety and improve the quality of care such that we would significantly reduce the cost of health care.